Okay, hi, and thank you for having me along today. My name's Alison Roberts, and I'm the Specialist Advisor for Responsible Recreation within Natural Resources Wales. And one of the key areas of my role is leading on the Countryside Code policy. I know that many of you will be very familiar with the Countryside Code, but some of you may not be so. And I hope I can provide you with some insight into this area of work today, and that will be of some benefit to you. What I'll do is I'll start with a little bit of the legislation behind the development of the Countryside Code. And you may know that NRW has a statutory duty under the National Parks and Countryside Act for the preparation and publication of a code of conduct, but also a duty under the Crow Act to issue and from time to time revise a code of conduct as well. It's probably worth pointing out that NRW don't have a specific duty to promote the Countryside Code, but we obviously do undertake promotion through our own channels, and especially after the 2021 review and what's gone about since sort of the COVID pandemic, of course. I'll go into a little bit more detail on our promotional resources a little bit later through the presentation. But for interest, there's been a number of Countryside Code versions since the 1930s. I actually have a 1961 printed version of the code, and as I've been going through that, I've been realising that it actually has the same messages that we try and get across today, really, but it's perhaps just expressed a little bit differently, maybe a little bit more authoritative in its speak back in the day. You also may remember the Aardman animation campaign back in 2004 with the Creature Comforts animations. This was a pretty successful campaign, and it found its way into schools and through the media at the time. But then 2020 hit us, didn't it? And COVID brought a number of different pressures and new rules, especially for those visiting the countryside safely. We needed to integrate social distancing into some of our messages. So this was woven in to become a sort of temporary COVID code at the time. But all of that was sort of prior to the refreshed code that we've done this year and that you see today. Really, the Countryside Code sets out responsibilities for visitors to the countryside and those who manage the land. It encourages all users of the countryside to respect other people and the natural environment and to enjoy the outdoors. So since 2013, NRW has created a number of activity codes to complement the overall Countryside Code, and that's been done through quite wide stakeholder engagement. And they include things like the Trail Users Code, there's Dog Walking Code, but also things like Wild Swimming and a Canoeing Code. So, for example, where you've got the dog walking code, that might provide a bit more specific information on that actual activity, whereby the Countryside Code sort of touches on dogs and general behaviours, but the dog walking code will delve a bit deeper. For example, it might recommend ways to stay safe and protect livestock when you're with your dog, and it gives a much broader view of how to be a responsible dog owner. The activity codes, I think, in my view, are intrinsic to the overarching Countryside Code because they often suit an audience more directly in some cases. And we aim to promote these activity codes alongside the Countryside Code. And these are all available on our NRW website. Excuse me. There's a number of other types of code of conduct that you'll be aware of as well, I'm sure, not just the Countryside Code. And some examples of these might be things like the Gorge Walking Codes of Conduct, North Wales White Guide for winter climbing. There's also some codes around marine environments, and these have been developed across sort of marine special protection areas and for people like boat handlers or where you might have launching sites. But really agreeing what responsible means in the context of an issue sets out the foundation for this further work. So in early 2021, a review of the existing Countryside Code began, which was led on by Natural England and us in NRW. Up to now, the code's been a collaborative process across England and Wales, and we've worked with a vision to refresh the Countryside Code to ensure it has the right balance between encouraging access and informing people of their rights and responsibilities. We ran a consultation with key stakeholders. There was one in England ongoing and in Wales, and we did that through our National Access Forum Wales members. And that was to gather views on how they saw the Countryside Code at the time, and it generated over 4,000 responses, which included the stakeholder ask and also a wider online questionnaire, which was led on by Natural England. But it really did get people talking. Ideally, we would have liked a bit more time to run the consultation, but due to the pandemic timelines, we were really tight between January 2021 and its Easter release. It was a pretty ambitious target, but we got there in the end. So I think this little animation here is some of the words which came up repeatedly during the consultation review. One I think that you can't see there, but it did come up a number of times, was the word education. It just came up under a different discussion process within the consultation, and it remains a very key consideration. And based on that consultation with the various different stakeholders, this allowed us to identify the most important issues. This is something that Natural England produced this little table when they dissected the stakeholder information and the responses, but it does give you an idea of the views of types of behaviour and issues considered high priority for the code to cover. Those familiar with the code will notice that these issues they're mostly covered in the code already, but it's important to recognise that there's still very strong representation for them to remain, and they're still current issues today. Interestingly, the three sectors that you see at the top of that table are showing us that they all consider the same issues to be the most important, requiring strong messaging. So based on all of that feedback, we now have an updated countryside code, which was released in spring 2021 in time for the Easter break. It's worth mentioning here that the full code has a lot more narrative about the key behaviours and messages. And these points sort of highlighted here are the key summary points that will be the first thing that people might read on the code. And people generally want short, concise messages. So each section has these summary points. Respect everyone portrays the message that your actions can affect other people's lives and livelihoods. And the key points here really consider things like parking and not blocking gateways, leaving gates and property as you might find them, but also following local signs. What is new here, though, you might see, is the message about be nice, say hello, and to share the space. Where we move to the protect the environment section, we try and get across that we all have a responsibility to protect our countryside and open spaces for current and future generations. And it covers the most important messages about clearing up after dogs, clearing litter, and it builds in the leave no trace element as well. And we also don't forget the messages around not lighting fires and only having barbecues where you may even be permitted to do so. It might be that some sites have designated areas for this example. And when it comes to enjoying the outdoors, as the third banner of the code, this is where the message has become a bit more user-friendly, perhaps, but with a nod to staying safe. The full version of the code provides a much greater narrative around checking tide times and water conditions, for example, but it's well worth referring to the full version of the code for some additional advice here. We want people to remember the more serious messages within the code, but also to enjoy the countryside at the same time. Okay, so where can you find the code? It's available on the Natural Resources Wales web pages, and I've provided the links here for you, and they are bilingual. It takes you straight to the Countryside Code landing page, and from there, what you can do is choose the code you wish to read. You might wish to read the Countryside Code or one of the supporting family, as described earlier. We encourage our partners and other organisations to also link to this or to share the Countryside Code on their web pages where they can as well. Let's try and extend its reach. The Countryside Code doesn't have its own individual social media pages, but if you are using social media, then we encourage anyone also to use the hashtag Countryside Code. Something you might be interested in that we developed a couple of years ago is these animated videos to promote messages of responsible recreation from the code. And these are, again, available for your use, and we have them on our NRW YouTube channel. I've supplied the links here for you. We've got 9 animated videos, including things like keeping dogs under control, sharing the space with the trail users, clearing up after your dog. There's also one around checking and cleaning equipment after canoeing, for example. So there are some really good resources there for you to use. We've also released a number of resources via what we call a Sharefile through a toolkit. And when you open it, it should look a little bit like this. And it consists of things like videos, photography, logos, illustrations resized for social media. Again, the animations, which I've just touched upon now, but also a poster of the Countryside Code summary points I've been through in this presentation. And you know, if you do go to this, please do use it, because it's a way of promoting the code through your own channels and networks, because really by working together and sharing these resources, we really do have a much greater reach and impact. We need to try and make an impact, so please share and share away. This is an example of the Countryside poster I've just mentioned, which was developed out of the review. It's editable as well, so you can throw on your own logos should you wish to. It identifies the main points arising out of the code as shortened versions of the longer and fuller text, and it allows the reader really to scan the code and pick out the main behavioural points that we want to promote. And as a second side to that poster, we take you through some of the signs and symbols that you might come across on public rights of way. For instance, it also includes things like national trails, the Wales Coast Path, and some access land provision signage as well. And it could be posted, I guess, on sites, for example, at points that visitors might see first on arrival, at information points, or it just could be used digitally or in a leaflet format. We don't currently have a hard copy of the leaflet at this stage, the printing of which is dependent on resources, and it's something for the future that we will be thinking about, but for now, these can be printed and shared digitally. Really, just to finish off, if you haven't already heard of this campaign, Visit Wales launched what they called its ADDO campaign, meaning to promise, and the main message here is to make a collective promise to care for each other, our land and our communities. It was a Visit Wales Welsh Government initiative, but the linkage within this campaign is really strong to the Countryside Code, which is really good to see. The toolkit web link that is there available for you. You may have seen these again, but these are toolkits available as business resources for the Wales Coast Path and our national trails. So this is for things like accommodation providers, walking holiday organisers maybe, and some other business interests. But these two toolkits, again, provide some really useful resources for you to use. So take a look at these. They're available for your use, and hopefully they'll be useful and complement the Countryside Code toolkit, of course. And I think I'll leave it there. That's it. Apologies, it's a bit of a whistle-stop tour of the code, but thanks for listening. And as I said, I'm happy to share this presentation with you via email, or however Katrin might want to share it. Alternatively, feel free to email with any queries and requests for resources. I can send those out individually as well. Jill, thank you very much.